Okay, so this session is all about practicing how to raise funding from external sources. I've shared this previously and I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it as many times as is required, that you're just not going to go too far without external money. Okay, you literally will not, unless you have been given 10 million in inheritance. Okay, you're just not going to go too far. So you need external money to progress in your property journey. If you want to get to a point where you've got 10, 20, 30 grand income coming in every month, recurring income potentially, that will allow you a amazing life. Okay, so start to learn to raise money, and not just learn to raise money, but to go out and raise money. Even if it means you go and test it out, raising just 10 grand. Okay, because the difference between raising 10 grand and a million is not massive. Okay, it's very, very little. The process is exactly the same. If someone, you can take someone over the line of trust and give you 10 grand, it's exactly the same process when you're actually doing it from £1 million. Just the logical part of that presentation, if I may say, or the interaction is slightly going to change. Okay, but we're going to actually practice how to raise external funding between us. Please raise your hand, and I need everyone to answer this. Please raise your hand if you have watched sessions which were based on the GROW model. Please raise your hand. I need to know that. Jennifer, have you watched the sessions which were based on the GROW model?
No.
Okay, I will share that then, because
Thank
I
you.
think some of you haven't. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
GROW stands for, and those of you who have, I can assure you this is something you want to practice a billion times. Okay, because the more you practice, the better you get at this. And the same GROW model is used for not just raising external funding, but to lead your team, to coach someone, to mentor someone, to be able to make a sale. So to be able to sell something, to be able to serve people in the right way, in the right pattern. This model is pretty much used for every single one of these categories, right from the start of coaching, guiding someone, managing a team, mentoring, like I said, and right at the core of this is persuasion, which is, your sales skills, your serving skills, being able to raise funding. It is very, very important to practice as much as you can. I promise you, every single one of my conversation, irrespective of what it is, even if someone calls me and says, I want to view a property of yours, I still take them through a part of this GROW model. Okay, because I want to make sure that, we both have clarity where we are in the first place. Okay, so it's very, very important to practice this, and not just, like I said, practice this here. Once we finish today's session, just give yourself a challenge and say, I'm going to go and raise 10, 20, 50 grand for one of my projects. Okay, or I'm just going to go and raise funding for, even if it means testing yourself out, even if you don't have a project, you just say, you know what, I'm just going to go and speak with someone and say, look, I'm looking at different projects, and I'd require funding, and I just wanted to see if you are interested. Okay, and let me just present you something, and then you take them through this GROW model that we're going to practice now. Morning, Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, have you watched any of the previous recordings based on GROW model? Not sure. Not sure if you can hear us yet. I think he's coming. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, morning.
How are you?
Not bad, thanks.
Have you watched any of the previous recordings based on GROW model?
Watched, you mean the one that's from last week, you mean?
No, not last week, probably last year. Okay. GROW model is the model used for sales. It's used for coaching, mentoring potential prospects, raising external funding, pretty much the whole lot. Okay. We're going to actually practice that today. Okay.
Okay.
So GROW basically stands for, G stands for goals, R for reality, O for options, and W for will. If those of you who have not come across this or practiced this previously, please write this down on a paper in front of you or on tab or phone, whatever you have. G stands for goals, R for reality, O for options, and W for will. Okay. When you pick up the phone, or when you are, let's say, interacting with a person that you are, let's say, raising funding, we're talking about funding here. Let's say you're looking to raise funding. Your first step is to build rapport. That's very, very basic, very common. The way you build rapport is before you jump on a call with a person, you check on them. What is it that they like? What is it that they don't like? What is the common ground you have that you can potentially talk about? Okay, that is your rapport building. So let's say if someone calls me up, and this guy's probably checked a little bit on me, he calls me up and says, Jack, I heard about you. We are developers and or we are investors. Let's say in this case, we are investors and we are looking for different properties. Okay, could you please help us out? The first thing I would ask is, tell me a bit more about yourself. Where are you based? Okay, they tell me they're based, let's say, in Birmingham. Okay, so, you know, what kind of properties are you looking for? Okay, normally it's a good practice to talk about emotional stuff first, but depending on the context, you could go from some emotional stuff to some logical stuff. So something personal to something professional and everything in between. Okay, depending on the name they tell me, if let's say it's a name I can relate to, I would ask questions based on that sometimes. So someone tells me, let's say some Asian name, I'd probably ask them, you know, so what's your background? Okay, or if they tell me an English name, okay, then I would try and work out from the accent, where is this person from, if I haven't asked where he lives or whatever, right? So always find a common ground to talk about. You want to get to a point where you can ask personal questions. Sometimes on the phone it's slightly difficult, especially when you're meeting face to face. It's a bit more easier because then they can, you know, then they can look at you and they know what age you are. You can look at them, what the age they are, if they have kids, if they're family oriented, you know, all of that. So face to face is a bit more easier than on the phone. Okay, we're going to practice this, but I'm just giving you a bit more context around how it works. Okay, the first step is to build a bit more rapport. So talking about something that's a bit of a common ground. If you can get to, like I said, to a point where you can talk about family, if you can talk about some sports, if they got some awards, if you walked into their office, anything that you see that you can relate to, or, you know, compliment them. Remember, people like being complimented on. If they receive some awards and you can see some pictures, all of that, always compliment them. People like people who like them, if you know what I mean. Okay, so always compliment people on their achievements. If you can see something, or if you maybe check something online, and then that point you say, oh, I just saw one of your posts, and congratulations on so and so award or whatever. Always find a way to compliment them. Okay, that's your rapport, basic rapport building. Okay, everyone clear on this bit, basic rapport building? Raise your hand if you're clear on this bit, please.
Yes.
I need everyone to tell me that, please. I heard you, Jennifer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, this is basic human interaction where you meet someone, you compliment them on something, you talk about stuff that they like rather than stuff that you necessarily like. If you find, always it's a good practice to find a common ground where something that you like as well, because that way it's a lot more natural. Okay. But then from that point, when you start to talk about business, your question starts with the G of the GROW model. Okay, which is, what is it that they want to achieve in the first place? Okay, so what is the aim here? What is it that you want to achieve? Or where do you see yourself in 4 to 5 years time or 10 years time? What does this look like? Okay, so let's say 10 years down the line, they want to have a property in Spain, like a holiday home, and they want to sit on the beach. Always ask them, what does it look like to you? Okay, what does your goal look like to you? Okay, because they may say, okay, I want to make 20 grand a month or 30 grand a month, but then what does it look like to you? A 30 grand a month would look like to them would be a holiday home in Spain. Maybe they're working 4, 5, 6 hours a day, no more than that. They're spending more time with family. They are, you know, they probably have a nice car. They have a home somewhere else in UK rather than where they live now. a bigger home, maybe a nicer home, so on. Always ask these questions, because the more they tell you about their goal, in most cases, what you'll observe is, we're going to start practicing this once I'm done with this. The more they tell you about how does their goal look like, in most cases you'll find is it's something that they even didn't know themselves. And you're actually giving them clarity by asking questions. You're not telling them anything, you're asking questions, and that in and itself gives them clarity on what is it that they want in their life in the first place. Okay, I can assure you most people fail in their life because they have absolutely no clarity or very little clarity on what they want in the first place. If you don't know what you want, most people don't, I can assure you. 9 out of 10 people, to be precise. Okay, when I speak with 10 people, 9 of them have absolutely no clarity on what they want. They've grown up in a certain area, they've lived in a certain house, they don't know a better standard of living, they don't know the experiences they can have, they don't know much of that in the first place. Okay, so when you ask them this question based on what is it that they want to achieve, so let's say you're pitching someone, and let's say this pitch is based on X amount of return on investment, you can always ask them, what is your financial goal in the first place? Or what is your financial goal in terms of this project in the first place? And all of a sudden they start imagining, oh, I can make, let's say 100 grand from this project this year, and I can use that 100 grand potentially for so and so and so. Remember, we are imaginative. So as soon as you start asking questions, our answers are imaginative. We start imagining what is it that we are going to do with that profit or with that kind of money in the first place. Okay, but your questions need to be creative. That is your G. The R is based on reality. So you ask them questions like, so where are you now in terms of your investment? For example, let's say you're pitching for investment, or let's say you're coaching someone, it's the same thing. You're asking very similar questions based on where you are in your journey, or what is it, where are you in your investment journey at this stage? Okay, or let's say they tell you, we've got 50 grand to invest. Okay, have you or are you looking at other projects as well to invest into? Okay, so you want to understand the existing reality they are in the first place. Okay, it's almost like you're asking where they are and where they want to be. Okay, where they are, which is reality, and where they want to be is their goals. Okay, now the G and R can be up, like first and second, or whichever, whatever the context allows you. They don't have to be G first and R later. R can be first and G can be later. Okay, but your aim is to find out where they are and where they want to be. Okay, your questions, and you're only asking questions. You're not giving them any answers, because any answer that you give is most likely going to be an assumption. Okay, and assumptions are really, really bad in this interaction. Okay, all you're asking is simple questions based on where they are and where they want to be. Let's say investment. Okay, so would you please tell me how much money do you have to invest in this project? And they say, let's say 50 grand or 100 grand. Okay, are you looking at other projects as well to invest into, so we know where we stand with this? And they say yes or no. If it's a no, it makes your life a bit more easier. But if it's a yes, then you're practically comparing your return on investment with their potential return on investment that they have looked at. Okay, so it gives them clarity or help them make an informed decision. Okay, in some cases what will happen is that they will show you, oh, we're looking at this project is giving us 10% return on investment, and you maybe were thinking 10% to give them 10% as well. Now you know that you have to give more than 10%, a bit more than maybe 11% or 12% now. Okay, but always ask them, what kind of return on investment are you getting on other projects, so you get clarity in the process of what is it that you will propose in the first place. Okay, in fact, I can share with you a story which happened with me. I was actually pitching for a contract in a hotel. This is 2012, maybe 11, 12. And after the whole presentation, I actually asked her, do you have any other companies that you use for this service? And she said, yes. And I said, do you mind telling me what kind of commission do they give you? And she said 15%. And immediately I actually came with thinking I'm going to give her 15%. I did not tell her that. The straight answer was, okay, we're going to give you 20%. And who do you think she went with? She went with us. Just because I did not assume and I asked a question. And that allowed us to get that contract. And eventually that contract turned out to be almost £1 million. Okay. Which is not what I was expecting. Again, it's all based on questions that you ask rather than actually giving any answers of assumption based. Okay. Everyone clear on the G and R, so the goals and reality? Please raise your hand. This is your persuasion skills right at the core. Either it is, like I said, leading a team, selling something, raising funding, pretty much everything that you do in your business, most of it is based on this GROW model. Okay. Even when I was leading different teams at different times, I was using exactly the same model to lead a team in an effective manner. Okay. Then once you have clarity in terms of where they are and where they want to be, now it's time to pitch your options. So the O of the GROW model, which is basically you're now sharing about your project, about your investment, about your service, whatever that you're proposing for in the first place. Remember, you would only propose options when you have full clarity on where they are and where they want to be, and what does it look like to them, and what does it look like in the whole picture. Because like I said, in most cases, when you start pitching this, people have little clarity or very less clarity on what is it that they want in the first place. Either it is the emotional stuff or the logical stuff. I have met so many investors, it's unbelievable. They're sitting on money, and when you ask them what kind of return on investment do you expect, they don't know. So they have cash, either they've made the money in a business, or they've made money in from the job or savings or whatever that may be, or they got it from inheritance. They still have very little clarity on what kind of return on investment they want in the first place. Unless they're seasoned entrepreneurs, those are the people who normally know what they want. Otherwise, most people don't. So when you ask them, sorry, bad throat. So when you ask them, you're actually giving them clarity on what is it that they want from their own investment in the first place. Kalpana, go ahead, ask this question, please.
Right. I was just thinking, when you're checking duality, it is about where they're in the journey, right? But what would be the effect of not taking the next step or staying where they are and not investing?
Sure.
Would you explore that option?
I would explore that massively, and I'll tell you why. Okay, there's two things here. I was going to get to that point at a later stage, but let me cover this now. Okay, so you get to see this. Most people don't take action unless there's two things. Unless there's fear of losing out or missing out, or there's some sort of urgency created. Okay, urgency and fear are correlated as well, but let's talk about fear. You really need to give this in your presentation of not taking action or not deciding on this, what will happen. Okay, that will create a psychological fear of losing out or missing out. And you always must put a deadline. If there's no deadline, you're never going to get a penny from any investor. Reason being, people do not take action unless there's a deadline, unless there's some sort of urgency. So let's say if you're pitching for a project, you say the deadline to invest in this project is so and so. Or the other way of doing it is, we already have 3 investors lined up, we need to pick from one. Okay, even if it means, well, in most cases you want to make sure that there's more than one investor lined up, because if you just depend on one, then you have the fear of losing out. Does that make sense? Okay, but if you have more than 2 lined up, you always can tell the others, look, we have more investors lined up, and then if you don't invest in it, we'll be pitching this to other investors, and then you will lose out in the picture. Okay, always tell them this. Do not hesitate, because this will create a fear of losing out, and I can promise you 99%, please write this down, 99% people will only invest if they have the fear of losing out in the first place. That means, remember, when they come on board as investors, they have double benefit, okay? Not that they get return on their money invested. They will be involved in the process of learning as stakeholders, as investors. It's your job to keep them updated and keep them informed. And the fact that they get involved, they don't get involved, but they get updated and they learn from the process. When they get onto the next project, and if that requires, let's say, bank lending, it actually goes on their CV that they invested in a certain project and they were a part of the investment team. Raise your hand if you know what I mean here. Okay, this is a very, very important point. So whenever you're pitching this, always share this, that when it goes on your CV that you invested in this project, that the next time and when you invest in another project, your bank lending or your debt lending becomes a lot more easier because now you are more experienced. Okay, that is a major point to always put forth. So that they are aware. At the same time, like I said, always have more than one investor lined up, because you can always tell them, we have more investors we are pitching it to. And then if, let's say, you agree by a certain date, great. If not, then we will have to consider other investors into the picture. Okay, so you're almost topping up all the benefits that you're providing them in the first place in your options, Kalpana. Okay, the orbit of the grow model. But always you must talk about what happens if they don't invest. So they lose out on the experience and the learning, they lose out on making the money. And obviously at the back of that, always say, what could you have potentially done with that profit? Okay, and they are always going to say, oh, I could potentially buy a new car or take my kids on holidays, or whatever that may be. At the back of it, there's always an emotional reason, always an emotional reason behind their imagination of investing into a project. Okay, that's very, very important to ask, not to tell, because that's coming from them. So your options are, let's say you're pitching for a project, you share the numbers on the project, you share the experience on the project that they're going to get, you share, maybe if, let's say, they can come and shadow you once a month or once a fortnight or once in 3 months, share that in the process, because that is a major part of you getting a yes when you're actually presenting this. So share all the numbers. One thing that a lot of people get wrong when they are pitching for investment is their numbers. If you watch these shows that we have, Dragon's Den, all of that, if you watch, most people get the numbers wrong. Okay, what they get wrong is valuations. What they get wrong is the money that they need in the first place. But please do your due diligence well. That is not where you want to slip up. Okay, if you're not very, very tight with your numbers, investors are not going to believe in you. Okay, you really need to be very, very good with your numbers. If you're pitching someone, you want to take that presentation through me, by all means, email it to me. Okay, I will be happy to look at it. I'm good with numbers at least 99.9% of the times. So I can take you through those numbers and say, okay, these are going to work, or they're not going to work, or here's a little tweak that we can potentially make. But be very, very good with your numbers. If you are not good with your numbers, like I said, no investor will invest with you. And if you literally go back to any of these shows like Dragon's Den, and they're all over the world, you will see that most people slip up with numbers and valuations. Okay, and that's not where you want to be. If you watch some of our previous training videos, we are sharing about how to analyze deals, how to do all of that, how to make sure it's all on spot and you get your numbers right. All the training videos are already there. All you got to do is watch and make notes and start doing them. I cannot insist enough. You will not learn unless you actually do it. Either it is analyzing deals, either it is pitching for investment, irrespective of what it is. What you're learning here is just the theory, the learning curve. Okay, what you will actually really learn is when you actually do it. Okay, go and practice it with a friend, with a colleague, with a peer. It doesn't really matter who you're surrounded by. Go and pitch it to them. Okay, we're going to start practicing here as well. And then the last of the grow model, the last bit of the grow model is W, which is the will. Are they willing to invest with you? Are they willing to buy your product or service? Are they willing to take the action steps that you are asking them to do if you're leading a team. It is the will. How many people do I come across who will go and do the presentation and will not ask a closing question of, would you like to go ahead? Okay, it's unbelievable. Remember, when you start the grow model, you're asking open questions. Tell me a bit more about yourself. Where would you like to invest? What is it that you are looking to achieve? What, where, why, how? All these are open questions. But when you get to O, you're asking a closed question. The answer can be either a yes or a no, which is, would you like to go ahead investing in this project? And the answer can be a yes or a no. And please do not be afraid, because the worst that can happen is a no. And no means next opportunity, which means you go on to the next investor, you improve on the previous pitch, you reflect back and say, what is it that I did wrong? Or what is it that I could potentially improve on the previous pitch that will help me get a yes on the next pitch? That is all there is. Okay. I was asked actually in one of the previous training videos, and it's recorded, that how come you can, how do you grow such a big network? It's because I literally ask people, would you like to join our network? There's investors in there, there's builders in there, there's consultants in there. And in 9 out of 10 cases, I get a yes. That is all it is. Even when you're pitching to people, you got to ask the closing question, which is, would you like to go ahead? And when you ask that question, if you get a yes, great. If you get a no, you know that you did not do your presentation well, and that you need to improve on it and then move on to the next person so you could get a yes. Everyone clear on the grow model? Please raise your hand. Now we're going to start practicing between each other. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, I'm actually going to take 2 people. So Seti, can I take you? I can see you top of the list.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, and I'm gonna actually take a challenging one. Kalpana, would you like to do it with Seti?
Sure.
Okay.
So am I the investor, or
So
am I the?
you can choose between the two of you. Who wants to be investor? Who wants to be pitching?
I'll be the investor. Sati,
Okay,
I shall let you do the
I'll leave
hard
it to
work.
you. Which one do you want?
Okay, Seti, do you want to pitch?
Yeah. Go.
Okay.
Give it a go. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So Kalpana, can I request you not to make this any easy? Just because you know Seti doesn't mean you make it easy. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Seti, you already have spoken with Kalpana once, just the very basic, of knowing who Kalpana is.
Yep.
And now you're jumping on a call.
Yep.
Okay. So remember, call is different from face to face. So you know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And now you're calling Kalpana. Kalpana has picked up the phone. Start.
Hi, Kalpana. How you doing?
Hi, Sati. I'm okay. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hi, I'm here.
Fantastic.
Can you hear me?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Just basically being very busy. Yeah, I can. Very busy, very productive and stuff. How are you? How's family?
Yeah, all good. All good. Thank you. What about yours?
Fantastic. Very good. Very good. Behaving. That's the main thing. And yeah, it's all good. It's all good. How was I know you've been busy with a celebration in the last couple of weeks. How was that? Did you go to Garba, or you don't attend anymore?
It was how do I say it? This year we decided to give it a miss. Just watching on Zoom and just talking to friends.
Yeah.
Or like it. Did you go to Galba?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have basically gone steering towards it. No, my wife was thinking about it, and she actually talked me out of it, because I said to her, like, you know what, just for the sake of going, I don't have a problem with it. But she just decided she didn't want to take the risk. So it'll be something we look forward to next year. And yeah, so that's something we're going to be doing. So Kalpana, I'm involved with property. I'm actually creating a bond at the moment. And this is actually genuinely true. We are creating a bond at the moment, and we have got property assets as security, and we are giving back a return to individual investors. So when you put the money into our investment scheme, we are backing the investment scheme with a security, which is security. as well as liquid collateral security as well. You are 100% covered in regards to any kind of issues that go wrong. Fingers crossed there will be nothing going wrong. I was just wondering, are you looking right now to turn around and advertise, invest into anything?
I do want to. I do want to. It depends
fantastic.
on the opportunity.
Have you done any research in regards to any investments?
For me, I want to invest, but I'm too scared of risking. Okay, it's the risk.
Yeah. No,
and,
we totally.
And I'm thinking about if I suddenly need money for something else, would I be able to release my funds?
Oh, totally understand. Basically,
is it my side?
and-
Because it feels like Wi-Fi is dropping. You got cut off. Sorry, Sati, I didn't hear that. Oh, mine seems okay.
I think we may have lost his connection. He's here. I can see you, Sati.
Can you hear me now? Is it
I can
clear?
hear you now. Yes.
Yes,
it is,
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm standing next to the router, so I couldn't get any closer if I even tried. Okay. All right. So Coconut, basically this idea came along, and this is a genuine true story.
Mhm.
Literally 4.5 years ago, a landlord walked into our office and said, I wanted to say thank you. They had a box of chocolates, bouquet of flowers, and a bottle of champagne to give to us and the staff.
Mhm.
And I sat back and I was like, it's really nice, like we don't really get enough thank yous. And she just basically said to me, I want to thank you because I bought because of the business, Hanson's Estates have been running now for 18 years. She bought her first property with us 16.5 years ago. And because of the service we provided her, she felt confident. And over the years, she went and bought more. She's a very old school sophisticated investor. She just used the rent, what was coming in, to draw down and pay off the mortgages. She worked a job as well, and she paid the mortgages off. She became an equity millionaire. And with her becoming an equity millionaire, she sat down with a financial advisor to find this out. She didn't know herself that all her properties added together, which have got now unencumbered, she's sitting on almost £1.5–2 million of equity, and she can release some of that to do some stuff. So she said, I want to draw down £100,000 and I want to come into her investment. And that was basically where Hanson's Capital came along. And this was around about 4.5 years ago. And the seed was basically dropped to us. We needed to then learn how to basically do look for right opportunities and basically go and do this stuff. So again, we've grown as a business in the last couple of years. We're still doing what we're doing, which is predominantly property management, property sales, property commercial. But with the schemes and stuff that we're going to be doing now with the developments and stuff as well, we can give genuinely back a really good return. So I wanted you to consider a opportunity of working with us. Now, we're only going to be taking on a limited amount of people per scheme. I think we're going to be maximally taking on around about 20 to 25 people maximum. The minimum amount in regards to the investment is going to be 25,000, but there's no cap in regards to the top. We are giving back a coupon return, and it's a 1-year scheme. So it's guaranteed. It's got security behind it. It's got property and it's got liquid assets in the bank. It's been held in a fund, and it's FCA regulated as well.
Okay.
Okay. Can I just request everyone to stop, please? Yeah. Seti?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, so very quick. This is just a learning curve. Okay, it's nothing major. Just a learning curve for all of us. Okay.
Jackie hasn't got to the meatier bit yet.
No, wait. Wait.
Let me hear him out.
No. There's a reason I've stopped this. There is a reason.
Okay.
Seti, you started really well by saying, how are you? How is family?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very, very good start. Okay.
Yeah.
At the same time, remember, the G and R stands for asking questions. You have not asked a single question so far.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've actually started with O in the first place.
Opportunity. Yeah. Okay. No. you know what? Funny enough, I think practice makes perfect, and definitely
Yeah.
I've missed out on that.
So,
Yeah.
you're doing the O really well, okay?
Yeah.
But you still don't know what she wants in the first place.
No, you're right, 100%.
You don't know what she wants in the first place.
I need to.
You can't say anything that she doesn't know. So your start needs to be all questions.
Yep.
And then once you know what she wants,
Yep.
where she is and what she wants, it's that at that point you get to O. So you're doing the O really well.
Yeah.
But at this moment, you haven't started the GNR.
Yeah. Just for everybody, that's the actual genuine story. That's not made up.
Yeah.
That's
I know
not
that.
even made up.
I know that. Yeah.
I just ran it from there, and I was like, okay, this is plug and play.
But it's
My
very
interest
important
is
to start
piqued.
with.
By the way.
But it's very important to take someone through the GNR, because if you
Yeah.
haven't done it,
Yep.
the problem with going to O, jumping to O is, which a lot of people do, is that you're going to be assuming a lot of things.
Yep.
Okay. And assumption at any given point in this conversation is only going to go against you.
It's a killer. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to restart this? Let's just restart, right? Let's just rewind back, start again, and see how you start with GNR.
Sorry, Jack,
Okay.
one quick question. What
Yes.
is GNR stands for? That's all.
Lavanya, the G is goals, R for reality, O for options, and W for will. I think you've done this with us, haven't you?
Grow model. This is
Yes.
okay, fine.
We are Lavanya, today we are practicing grow model based on raising external funding. We are practicing it. Okay. I actually covered this initially when we started. I think you've joined late, but I covered it before. So now we're just practicing this. Okay.
I was thinking grow as well, but when you said GNR, I was confused. So I thought, okay, let me ask.
No,
Sorry,
it is the grow
thank you.
model. No, it is the
Thank
grow
you
model.
so
Seti, Kalpana, back again. Start.
Do you know, before we kick start, give me a second. I'm going to get a pen and paper. I need to make notes of this as well, because I think today, because I'm hovering around, I'm not making any notes. And that's a fundamental thing I like to share with everybody. That little things like that, it's not like writing down the whole text. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
if you make notes, I'll get someone else to pitch to Kalpana. Okay, Lavanya?
Tika. Yeah.
Yes, Jack.
Do you want to go and pitch to Kalpana? You don't know Kalpana, okay? You've only spoken with her once.
Okay. Yes, I can try. No problem.
Okay, you're on the phone. You're not face to face. You're on the phone. Kalpana,
Yep.
if
I'm
you're gonna
here.
be that nice, I'm not gonna practice with you.
Oh, no,
You're being
I'm not
you're
going
being
to
too
be
yeah?
nice, but
You're
I
being
want
too
them to
nice.
feel comfortable to pitch
No, but
to me.
that's not being nice. Okay, you're an investor. Okay, it's one thing being a nice person. It's another thing being an investor. Okay, you
These
don't need to be
people I
necessarily that
know,
nice.
Jack. I know them.
Do you want me
Okay,
to pitch
okay,
it to you?
No. I'll try. I'll try my best.
Okay, I know you're a nice person, but you don't have to be that nice. Okay, they're only speaking with this the second time. Kalpana, sorry, Lavanya, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Kalpana. How are you?
I'm good, Lavanya. How are you? Long time no see.
Yes, I'm really good. I'm fantastic. And so how can I help you, Kalpana? What do you want to introduce yourself first?
I think when we met last time, I told you what I'm doing, where I am with my journey. Tell me about yourself. What you've been up to?
Tell me about yourself. Okay. So first of all, as you know, that I work currently in both the businesses, where one is property and another one is Subway. Okay, we have a small portfolio of Subways where we operate ourselves, manage ourselves, and I'm trying to expand more into property. Okay. At the moment, I'm trying to do some sort of commercial conversions to get ramp up. So this is where my journey is. So what made you to, to speak to me? What is your particular interest, which you wanted to touch with me? Or
can we just pause and clarify? Who's the pitcher here? Is Lavanya pitching to me, or am I pitching to Lavanya?
No, Lavanya is pitching to you.
Okay. She's asking me questions. Okay, Lavanya, let's go back. Unpause. Let's go back. Okay, what was your question?
So I just wanted to understand what made you to get in touch with me, because I know you're an investor clearly. Okay. I wanted to understand what made you to get in
I
touch.
know you called me, Lavanya. You're pitching to me.
Yes, but did I call you?
Yes, you did. You are pitching me. You want something from me. I don't know what that is.
Sorry, Jack. Am I pitching to Kalpana?
Yes, you're pitching to Kalpana,
That's what
Lavanya.
I'm
Yes,
saying. I'm
yes.
trying to clarify.
Started with the word
Sorry.
start again. Lavanya, you're pitching to
Okay.
Kalpana. Okay. You've only before spoken once.
Okay.
It's good fun. It's good fun. You've
Yeah.
only spoken with Lavanya, Kalpana once before. So you only know the very basics about her, but you can ask her, tell me a bit more about yourself, Kalpana. She doesn't know about you. So tell her a bit more about
I
yourself.
asked her question and
Yeah, I think that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So tell each other a bit more about yourself.
Yes.
Okay, that's your rapport building.
Yeah.
Okay, ask that question. So I need you to ask that question, and
Yeah.
then you ask about where they are in the journey, where they want to be, and so on, and then you flow from that. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Hi, Kalpana. How are you?
I'm good, Lavanya. How are you?
Good, Kalpana. We got in touch last time. I know clear something we spoke about each other again on the investment. Could you just tell me more about yourself? I just wanted to find out, please.
Yeah, we met at that event, didn't we? So basically, what I'm trying to do, I have some funds to invest. So basically, what I'm trying to do, I'm looking at some opportunities where I can, grow my investment, and it's not too risky. So currently, I'm looking at rent to rents, maybe a buy to let. But I'm just exploring my options. What about you?
At the moment, we have a business which is up and operating, which is a subway. So I'm trying to expand my portfolio into property as well. This is where we are. Me and my husband is the partners until now. We haven't spoken to any other investors external, but we are open now with the property as to do some joint ventures or work together, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's good you have let me know about your interest, but how can I help on your journey? What do you think?
I don't know, because you said you got software and you're looking into property. So what are you planning to do? What are your plans? Where are you in your journey?
At the moment,
Because
okay, so you wanted to understand my project on the property, right? So at the moment, we got a 3-bed detached property, which we are undergoing we bought the 3-bed property. We put the planning permission on for 8-bed conversion into HMO conversion all on suit. So the planning permission is going on, and we will wait to hear. And we just applied 3 weeks ago, and we are waiting to hear the decision, what it is. And I wanted to expand more about in other portfolios.
that sounds quite interesting.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best with your new project.
Yes.
What can I do to help?
All right. Okay. Shall I just let me?
It's not going well. I'm sorry.
No. Wait.
Well.
Let me share with you. Look.
Sorry, Jack.
No. That's okay. That's okay. Look, this is a learning curve. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pitch it to someone so you can see the flow?
Yes. Go
okay.
on.
Okay. So who do you want me to pitch it to? Give me a hard person.
Me.
Are you sure, Kalpana?
Yeah. Go on.
No, Mazi or Seti.
Go for it.
Mazi, I'm not sure if he's available. Seti, I can try.
Yeah, try Seti.
Seti, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, let me just see your video. Is your video on? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Okay. Hey, Seti, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you. Yourself?
Excellent. Been up early morning. Went for a nice, lovely winter's walk. Won't call it summer's walk anymore. But yeah, been an active day, an active start to the day.
Fantastic. Okay. So I realized at one point when we were talking last time that you're looking to invest into property. So tell me a bit more about yourself in terms of where you are in the journey. What is it that you're focused on at this moment of time, please?
But Jack, as you know, I've already invested in heavily in property. You know, our background is around about 18 years, buying and selling and whatever not. We've done some little small developments and little deals and whatever not as well. So we've done loads of property stuff over the years. Right now, I'll be honest with you, I was just spending a little bit more time. I think COVID woke me up a little bit in regards to where my time was going, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the vision of where I was.
Okay. And can I ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 4, 5 years time, 10 years time, as far as you can see?
I want to be sitting in either a beach in Spain, Mexico. I want to have homes around the house, probably in around about 10 or 20 different continents. I want to be traveling, and, you know, with everything what we put together and what we will do in the future. Yeah, my dream is to basically just travel, let the passive income come in, let the bills be paid by our tenants. Happy days.
Fantastic. And do you mind me asking, what kind of goal, financial goal, do you have in mind to be able to create that kind of life that you're looking for?
I'll be honest with you, I think I'm quite a bit there already in regards to my financial goal, because again, I've been doing this for such a long time. So you learn some patchy things in life. You do slip, and you slip hard, and you learn from it. Yeah, and then when you learn basically how to get thrown on the floor, bruised, then you start learning a little bit quicker. So yeah, quite a bit of it's done, but at the end of the day, an opportunity is an opportunity, and you've got to be switched on to the opportunities. Otherwise, you're literally saying what I believe in universal law. Sorry, I don't want money. I don't want these opportunities.
There's a reason I asked you this question, Seti, because
yeah,
if you have a figure in mind, let's say you want to make 10, 20, 30, 50 grand a month, that gives not just me clarity, I think it gives you clarity in terms of the potential goal that you want to hit, because without a goal, it's a bit more difficult, I would say. So my question just goes back that, do you have a monthly, a yearly target that you want to achieve to be able to create the life that you just said, sitting on the beach,
Yeah, totally. I mean, to be honest with you, I think something like that, to have literally a lifestyle like that, you probably need a nice passive income coming in, 25 to 50,000 a month.
20 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great. And do you mind me asking, what kind of money do you have to invest at this stage in any investment?
You'll have to tell me more about the investment, to be honest with you, before I divulge.
Sure. I'll be more than happy. At the same time, are you looking at any other projects at the moment to invest into?
Jack, every day I get inundated. Because within the UK, we all know, like, there's instruments out there which find out sophisticated people, and every day we get inundated with offers and opportunities.
Sounds good. What is the best one you've seen or invested into so far that gave you the highest return on investment? And what kind of project was it? And what kind of return on investment did you make?
The joke side of it is the learner school of doing, and that's the only truth. But the actual best ones, what I've come across, is it's a very big company out in London. It's in Canary Wharf. They're called Hunter Jones, and they give a very good, sophisticated return. So whatever you invest in them, they're giving you around about 15% a year.
15% a year. And how is your investment backed? Is it backed up by a tangible product, by a property, or is it a loan? What kind of agreement is that, if you don't mind me asking?
You have a tangible asset. So if anything goes wrong with the company, you are literally getting.
Sorry, it broke. Sorry, it broke, so I couldn't hear. Is it asset backed? Is your investment asset backed?
Yes, it's asset backed, and you get you're on basically a second charge.
You're on a second charge. Okay, I hear that. Okay, so let's say if something was to go wrong with the project, you are the second one in the row to get paid, not the first one.
That's correct. Yep, all the investors are second ones in a row. The first one will most likely go, not most likely, it will go to the lender.
I just want to make sure that you're aware that if let's say something does go wrong with that
Yep.
company or the investment,
Mhm.
that in most cases, the first charge is normally a bank, which is a debt lender.
Yep.
And they don't care. All they care about is their money. And in most cases, when you see probate properties, that's what those are. And they're sold 20, 30% below. And in
Yep.
most cases, second charge never gets paid. I hope
No.
you're aware of that.
Totally. No, 100%.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of have more clarity on that. There was a reason, because I personally don't like second charge, because if something does go wrong with the project, and if the property does go to the first charge lender,
Yeah.
they don't care about the second charge people. They put the property up on auction, they sell it 20, 30, 40% below. And in most cases, second charge people, unfortunately, get very little or no money in most cases. So I just want to kind of, put this out there. But anyway, we are actually investing in hotels at the moment.
Brilliant.
And we've already agreed on 3 so far. One of them is
Fantastic.
actually a sea-facing hotel, a
Wow.
28 bed. Another one is a 10 bed. Another one is an 8 bed.
Okay.
And we are looking for 50 grand for one of these hotels.
Okay.
You will get shares in the company. And that means you actually own the asset, and you own the first charge of the asset in the first place.
So you're offering equity shares in the company, yeah?
I'm offering equity shares in the company.
Fantastic. And what?
But the minimum
what-
investment is 50 grand.
Okay. What kind of shares are you giving back for that?
That would be based in proportional, in the equal proportion of the property purchased, invested. Does that make
Okay.
sense? So
Yeah,
let's say
of
if we
course.
invest, let's say if you're buying the property for 100 and you're investing 50, you will get 50% shares.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And between, if I have questions, what are you actually looking to do with a hotel? We know what's COVID going on at the moment in time. I would be a bit worried in regards to a hotel
We are putting a
opportunity.
COVID clause. Yeah, we're putting a COVID clause. Yeah, we're putting a
Excellent.
COVID clause just to make sure that if anything does happen in future, that we are
Yeah.
not responsible for the rental of the property.
Okay.
So we are doing that. These are leased, renewable lease hotels we are taking on. We're not buying them freehold, which means that it's a lot more easier to sell the lease than the freehold hotel in future. So if, let's say at some point we don't want to lead the asset, we can always sell it on, and it's very, very easy. Lease hotels sell pretty fast, many in 24 hours. But let me give you a little bit background about the hotel or the hotels. One of them is, like I said, sea facing. It has 90% occupancy, even though the local regional occupancy sits at 52%. We are making over 200% return on our money invested.
Wow.
Okay? So we would be able to hire managers. We'd be able to hire a management team. We would be able to automate this and delegate this to a large percentage of it. So there only be a senior manager looking after all these hotels that we're going to take on in that local region.
So it's definitely going to be run as a hotel. So we are purchasing it as a hotel.
It will be run as a hotel. Yes, it'll be run as a hotel.
Okay.
A couple of them, the smaller ones, will be more like serviced accommodation style. So they will have master keys outside. People would be able to take keys themselves, walk in, walk out, put the key back and go. There'll be cleaners booked in already. All of this will be automated. Okay.
So you're doing this split model basically within one opportunity, which is,
Depending on, yes. So,
very attractive.
My question to you is it something that you might be interested in? Not just the fact that you actually have first charge, that you're a lot more safer with us, and the fact that you'll be making a much higher return on your money invested. Is that something that is of interest? Would you like to invest in this?
Oh, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, you've made my ears pop up. I'm very much interested in this. I'll definitely will want something in writing from yourselves, in documentation, to see what we can see, and then definitely a follow-up call will be good as well. I think definitely let's arrange something.
What I'll do, Seti, is I will email you everything, and then we'll meet face to face. Is that okay?
Fantastic. I like that.
Fantastic. Yeah, so let me send you an email. I'll ask you to check your diary for time as well. We'll book it in, and then we'll go from there.
Fantastic. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Guys, I want you to give feedback on this conversation. Seti was initially in the middle giving me a hard time, giving me a number on his target, but I still dug in I still need to know what he wants to make, because if he doesn't tell me, that means he doesn't know himself. Okay. So this applies to every conversation. If someone is not giving you an answer, you still need to dig in, but politely. Because if they don't give you an answer, that means they don't know the answer, or they're just being diplomatic and they're not going to eventually invest. Okay. Tell me, please, that you saw the the flow of the grow model. Raise your hand if you saw the clear flow of grow model.
I did. You guys skipped the first bit where you try to build a rapport because you know each other. That didn't come across like, talking
No,
about family or not talking about business. You guys straight got into that.
yes, I think that bit is a bit more easier face to face as well. On the phone, it's a bit more difficult. A lot of people, for example, Seti would jump on a call and say, how's family? I tend to not do that on a call, especially with someone I've only maybe spoken with once. Some people don't like that on the phone. If you ask them face to face, they're a bit more comfortable. But if you do it on the phone, I've come across people who don't like it. Maybe Seti has this personality to get away with it. On the phone, I don't have that. Okay, so I tend to not ask this question on the phone. But when I'm face to face, I really go deep into emotional stuff. Okay. But I just want everyone to just look, the aim of this practice is, it's not for me to practice. Remember, I've done this 500,000 times. Okay. I'm very comfortable. I do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone here needs to learn the flow of this. Okay. If you jump from G to R is okay, but you can't jump to O straight. You can't do that. If you do that, you're only going to make mistakes. Okay. You're only going to assume things which you do not know about the person. Okay. I asked him about how much he wants to make. He told me about the emotional stuff. I want to be on a beach. I want to have recurring income. I want to have, all of that. He's telling me all that emotional stuff. But if they don't tell you, you ask them. Ask them in a very polite way. Okay. Remember, it's only 7% your words. Most of it is your tone and your body language. Okay. And it's all about asking open questions. Seti, be hard on this and tell me honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was this interaction standing at?
6.5.
Okay, good. I always want to touch a 7. Okay, personally. Okay, that means I was underperforming from my perspective. Okay, if you can touch a 7 in a conversation like this, you're likely to get investment. Okay, if you can touch a 7. But remember, now my job is, remember one more thing, you're never asking for money on a phone call. You ask for money when you meet. The purpose of a phone call is to do the basics. Does that make sense? Raise your hand if you know what I mean. You never ask for money if you are pitching on a phone call. Always do it face to face. Purpose of call is to get the basics done. They know you, you know them. They know the project, you know the project. All of that is clear, out of the way. Now you can meet, and now it's time to actually ask for the money. Okay, but that is behind everything else that you've done so far. Okay, okay, I'm gonna do one more thing. We are actually going to conclude today's session. I'm gonna do an extra session next week where we will only practice this grow model, and you will be doing it between you, not me. Okay, I've practiced this many times. I can be very good at this. I can hit a 10 on 10 in many cases. Okay, so it's not for me to practice, it's for you all to practice and see how it works for you. I can already see, and with a lot of respect to everyone, you're not going to do well. You've not practiced this enough. You really need to practice this. And like I said, unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you need external money. You're just not going to go too far. Just so everyone knows, we're starting a PEN club, for those of you who already know, which is going to be based on raising external funding for different projects. We already are doing that, but we haven't officially launched it at the front end. We're going to be launching that, and that money will be invested into different projects at different times. We are working on that as we speak. Okay. Do you have any questions, Lavanya?
No, Jack. No.
Okay. Lavanya, I want you to give me a little bit feedback. On a scale of 1 to 10, where did you see this conversation between me and Seti?
No, I agree with 6.57.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was all over the place. Don't worry.
No,
Just,
that's okay. That's okay.
Monday.
That's okay. We'll all get there. We'll all get there. Look, it's all about practice.
That's fine. No problem.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any
Probably
questions?
I was in a little bit excitement because I just had a meeting with somebody who has 100 to 500K cash sitting in the bank. So that's fine. No problem. I'm really sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. All right. Dean sir, do you have any questions? Not sure if you can hear me. I don't know who the iPhone is. Is it Esther or John?
It's a John, Jack.
John, how are you?
I'm okay.
How's
How you
family?
doing? The
Yeah,
family's well.
thank
You?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All good. All good. Thank you. Blessed.
Yeah.
When did you join the session?
About half an hour ago.
Okay. So have you practiced this before?
No,
Okay. Okay. We'll practice it in our extra session next week. Okay.
no
But
problem.
did you see the flow of the conversation?
Very well. It was very interesting. Yeah.
Thank you. Jennifer, remember, John, it's not from me. I've done this many times. It's for you to observe and see how I can take that and practice it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jennifer, any questions?
No, not at the moment, Jack.
John, any questions? I forgot to ask you. Do you have any questions?
No, Jack.
Okay. Kalpana, any questions?
None for me. I think the session was really good. You're a pro. Come on, Jack. You know what you're doing. Okay. And I would give you a 7.
Thank you.
But I have some
I'm
feedback,
happy.
but I'm going to give you feedback off the record.
I would love some feedback, please. Yes. You know, when you're in
But-
that flow, it's
Yeah.
not straightforward to think of everything. So
No,
I
no.
always, like I said, I like hitting a 7. If I can hit a 7, I'm happy normally. Okay. But
No,
if I
it
don't
was
hit a
really
7,
good
that means
because
underperforming.
the way you got his interest, it's like the way you sold it, he was ready to invest there and then, kind of thing. And that's where that's
That's
what
very
I'm looking to
That's very
get to,
important. It is. It is. It's
That's
very
my
important.
goal.
Yeah. Mazi, any questions? Not sure if you can hear me. Nafisa, any questions?
No, Jack, thank you so much.
No problem. Pami, any questions?
Yeah, Jack, I mean, the way you did, I was really impressed, because the way he was literally agreed, that he was agreed at the time, that he wanted to actually get on with you, So
Remember, my aim is not to impress you. My aim is so you take
Yeah,
this and you
yeah.
apply it and you get results. That's my aim. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Bro Seti, any questions?
No, but what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be definitely repeating this because, like I always say, that you end up picking up little nuggets of certain bits. And I'm like, definitely going to be doing that. Would someone want to buddy up during the week? I think Carlton turned around and said something during the
Okay.
week, basically.
After this call, let's buddy up. And then those buddies can come onto the call, or you can do it separately as well, but you can come onto the next call and start practicing. Buddy up.
Yeah.
Great one. Yeah.
And also just also small accountability. Like if someone does go and ring someone up or whatever, not maybe we should all turn around and just do it as, a practice run to turn around and say, right, you know what, I'm getting involved. If you're not involved, say to people that you are getting involved, and I'm just letting you know what I'm walking into, like territory wise, in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Fantastic.
just a bit of
Good stuff. Good stuff. Suraj, any questions?
No, Jack, thank you.
All right. Okay. Good stuff. This is today's session. Have an absolutely amazing day. I'm going to stop recording.